The frames per second on this is ass. Yeah. Says most frames are being dropped. Let's check my activity monitor. Yeah, it honestly looks fine. I think it's just because it's in this room right here. So I don't know. Hopefully at the new place it doesn't do this, but it must be because I'm so far away from the Wi-Fi router. Mm. Which I'm trying to figure out how to like I might be able to put it at the end of the hall over there, but that would be about it. Yeah. 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 What's up, guys? How you doing? Welcome back in. Welcome back in. Hello. Um it's taken me a while to get back. Taking me pretty much all day to get on. Yeah. I slept for a good amount of the day, just trying to keep up, just trying to catch up on sleep. And yeah, getting on is very challenging for me. So I have to make that as easy as possible going forward because obviously it's 4 p.m. right now. And even if I was up at 12, that would have been like 4 hours of just like pure, like not. And like, even if it's my one thing that I dedicate for the day, I can't. It's impossible for me. So I need to make it as easy as possible. I think I think something that's been on my mind recently is like the proportion to which you'll become successful is directly linked to the frequency that you have of starting, and the amount of times. No, those are the same thing. I was gonna say the amount of times that you try, but that's the exact same thing as frequency. It's just like making an attempt as frequently as possible, which increases your amount of time spent doing a project. And the more projects that you do, the more time you spend on them, the more active time spent practicing and executing, the better you will be. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at, guys. All right. I got to get back with, yet another thing, right? Let's pull this up real quick. Oh. All right. Well, I got this message actually. I got this message from somebody, and he said, "Dear Eric, I hope you're doing well. I came across your profile on ACX, and I was truly impressed by your voice and narration style. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I believe your tone and delivery would be a perfect match for my audiobook project, Philosophical Methods and Their Application to the Art of Living. This book is a thought-provoking and practical guide that brings philosophy into everyday life and masterfully connects timeless ideas with modern challenges, offering tools for self-reflection and personal growth. This narration style requires clear, engaging, and authoritative voice that convey both intellectual depth and warmth. Project details. Title: Philosophical Methods and Their Application to the Art of Living. Genre: nonfiction, philosophy, and self-development. We're looking at about 5.7 hours, and the typical 50% ACX royalty split. If you're interested, I'd love to hear your thoughts and discuss further. I can also provide a sample script for you to audition. Please let me know if you have any questions or need additional details. Looking forward to the possibility of working together. Andrew V. Kuden." I said, "Hey, Andrew, thank you very much for your interest." I was at the gym when I was responding to this. Thank you very much for your interest in my narration and specifically sending a personalized offer. That definitely means a lot for someone beginning to build their portfolio. I have about a dozen other projects I'm working on at the moment, but if you're open to having an extended timeline for this project, I would love to add it to the list. The genre seems exactly like my current portfolio, and I have no doubt that I could bring this project to life. I would love to hear more and see what kind of timeline we can work out for this production. So that is the way that I speak to people on via messenger on here. But he said, and I just got this yesterday. I have not seen this or really kind of read it until now, so this is the first time I'm seeing it. "Dear Eric, thank you for your prompt response. I truly appreciate it. After listening to numerous voices, I found that yours stood out as the perfect match for this project. Your tone and delivery resonate in a way that feels both compelling and fitting. I am incredibly grateful that you've agreed to include me in your schedule. I completely understand that you're currently busy with other projects, and I am more than happy to wait. Could you kindly let me know what my next steps should be? Additionally, what would be the best way to proceed so that you can review the book at your convenience? I want to ensure that the process is as smooth and efficient for you as possible. Thanks again for your time and consideration. I truly appreciate it. Best regards." And Doctor, we've got Doctor now. Dr. Andrew V. Kuden. All right. Cool. Cool. Nice. All right. Well, Dr. Andrew V. Kuden, we'll respond to your message here. I'm not really sure exactly what to say, but we'll figure it out. All right. Let's bring this close. I'm gonna say, Dr. Kuden, thank you again for your interest in let's see. When writing, I typically like to let my mind sort of wander a little bit. There's just two different modes of thinking. There's the focus mode and there's the diffuse mode. The focus mode is more of like the concentrated I'm trying to focus on something. I'm really trying to get to a solution through my focused mind, and there's some merit to that. But there's a tremendous amount of brain power that's allocated to the subconscious, and that's, I think, most of our brain power. So I like to let my mind wander so it can get to a solution without me having to really super pay attention to it. So if you see my mind wander, that's what it's doing. Um, Thank you again for your interest in my production. In my audiobook adaptation of this. Thank you again for your in my potential, in your interest in my I really appreciate that that specific feedback, and I would love to see how I can bring your project to life. Yeah. I'm going to say, let me know what my next step should be. I believe wait. I don't have too much knowledge of the I don't have too much knowledge of the rights holder perspective of ACX, though I believe the next step would be to go into the listed project on the ACX platform and extend an offer directly to my account. I believe there needs to be because I don't know what it is. I think it's like a contract. Listing, listing the 15-minute checkpoint and finished project due date. All right, let's see. Thank you again for your project. Thank you again for your interest in my potential audiobook audio adaptation of this book. I really appreciate the specific feedback, and I would love to see how I can bring your project to life. I don't have too much knowledge of the rights holder perspective of ACX, though I believe the next steps would be to go into the listed projects on ACX platform and extend an offer directly to my narrator account. I've been given offers in the past without an audition, and I think they're so I believe there must be a way to send it to me directly. I believe there needs to be a contract that is signed with that offer listing the 15-minute checkpoint due date and the finished project due date. I can send an example of another contract that I've signed if that helps. Thank you again for your interest. I look forward to hearing from you. How about if that would help? Okay. I think that works. Yeah. All right. So, what are we working on today? This 15-minute check. These damn 15-minute checkpoints, I swear. I swear. All right, what's in some other news? Dude, why is this frozen? What are you doing? Why? What did I ever do to you? Okay. That's what we're working with today. What else? Housekeeping. My token is live. Let's get back to me for a second. Hi guys. Hello. Check it out on Soul Scanner. Alright. I think that's what I need. Let's go back to this. Alright. So this is my token. The token is just called Pullman. And I had this thing go live for anybody who my intention behind this is just to like give these away to people, and like hopefully what happens is as I grow as a creator, this token will grow in proportion to me, and then anybody who was able to find me ahead of the time can benefit from my growth. So as I grow, other people grow as well. That was my hope behind this. I've been trying to figure out the best way to give these out to people, to host it on a variety of platforms, to get this in a state to where it's easy to find. Like I've been toying around with it a little bit, as you can see. Like on the Solana scanner, you can see like I'm sending it to a lot of different addresses that I own. Um, I've been trying to. Okay, so this is like rug check, for example. And it marks me as danger. And it marks me as danger for a variety of reasons. It says that there's a low amount of liquidity in the pool. Obviously, that could be fixed over time as I add more liquidity to the pool. Basically, what that is like there's this radium here. We'll go to radium liquidity pools. And yeah, so that's my wallet. So like as you can see, you can go to like the standard and you can go to like you can look me up, and then obviously like this is me here. This is my liquidity pool. It's got like $240 in it. And then what I can do is I can actually like add to this liquidity pool if I wanted to. Where I could like I've got 184 million, for example. I could add that in. I mean, I think that's equivalent to like $64 or whatever. So if I wanted to include my entire balance, it would be about $64 in there. And then you could also stake it, so you can add the entirety into here and then stake your liquidity. So you're to say like, yeah, here's 184 million. I'm going to stake them all and just not do anything with them. And the benefit to that is that if anybody like transacts with this liquidity pool, you're able to like obtain a reward from it. So I think this is beneficial for anybody that like once if they get it, then what they can do is they can use some Solana to put this in. I believe you get that same Solana back when you take it out. If I'm not mistaken, you get the same amount of Solana that you put in that you can take right back out. So minus of course the fees like that are like, I don't know, 11 cents per transaction or whatever. It's very, very low. But as I understand it, so this obviously I could be talking about things that I don't understand here, and I don't want that to be the case, but obviously that may be the case here and there as I talk about it. Here, let me put this. Let me put me down here. Yeah. I think that might work better. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what's going on with my token, and I'm going to talk about it more as this thing ages, but yeah, for right now, as you can see, I've got like 26% of it in my wallet. I've got like test wallets over here with 5%. Like, I was trying to send that over and see what it's like if I send it to a different address. Is there transaction fees? Do those transaction fees increase the liquidity pool? And it looks like they do. It looks like they definitely do. And it looks like a good amount, like about 50% of the liquidity pool that I made, that just like circles back. So all of the fees that are associated with trading this will go right back into the liquidity pool, and it'll be increasing the value as this is traded. So as I hand it out to somebody, and then like say like if I were to take this token and give it to somebody, and they were like, "Oh, cool, thanks, I appreciate the 11 cents, but I'd rather have that 11 cents." I don't know why you would, but like, let's just say if they had that in mind, then they sell it, and then they get their 11 cents out of it, like, hey, good for you, buddy. But like, at the same time, as I traded it to them and as they trade it to another platform for USD, that'll actually, every time that gets transferred, that increases the funding in the liquidity pool. So at the end of the day, that's all my money because I sent that out to that person and then they did the switch. Um, so yeah, as I understand it, it's only going to increase the value as I increase the value, but hopefully, like people, they as I increase my own capabilities as a creator, this will be more and more well known, and then people will pick it up. And as other people pick it up, you, as somebody who saw this to begin with, as somebody who's like, say, early to the party, you can benefit as somebody who found me when nobody else knew about me. So this is for my day ones. That's what I said in the creation of this. I think if you go into Dex Tools, maybe it's Dex Tools, maybe it's Dex Scanner. I forget which one. No description available yet. That's weird. I definitely put a description in there. I'm just trying to get that description right, so I don't want to say it. Okay. Huh. Yeah, super weird. Maybe it's on Solana FM. Metadata. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to increase a lot of the information surrounding this. Like it'll have a website, for example. The account authorized to mint new tokens. I definitely didn't. The account authorized to freeze tokens. So I made it so that like you couldn't just make more of these. I also turned freeze authority on, so I don't know why that's sitting there with minus. I don't know what that means, if that's a good thing or not, but yeah, I tried to set this up so like the people that I gave it to would know that this would increase in value. Yeah. But anyway, we're sitting at a danger level right now. Let's go back and make sure you guys can see this. Yeah. So we're sitting at a danger level right now. Due to those issues, as described, we got the low liquidity, the single holder ownership, and then the low amount of LP providers. So as of right now, it's a really bad buy. I wouldn't buy it, but I would definitely accept it if I sent it to you. So I'm going to try and see if people can drop their Solana address, and then I could just send that to their Solana addresses. So that's my plan with that. I'm just wanting to update, and now we can do the Logic Bro thing. Let's see. Yeah, that was 15 minutes. Okay. That was 15 minutes. Okay. What are we working with? What are we working with this generative AI? Let's find out. One second. Or mechanical methods without the prior written permission of the author, except in the cases of brief quotations embodied in critical reviews and certain other non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law. This book is a work of non-fiction. Every effort has been made to ensure the accuracy of the content. Any errors or omissions are unintentional. Printed in the United States of America. This book is printed on acid-free paper to ensure its longevity and preservation. Copyright 2024 by Andrew M. Spann. All rights reserved. Introduction. This book is written to provide you with a comprehensive roadmap to excel in interviews for generative AI roles, one of the most cutting-edge and competitive areas in technology. As generative AI continues to revolutionize industries, the demand for professionals with the right skills and mindset is skyrocketing. The journey to land these roles, however, is as challenging as it is rewarding. In these pages, you will find a blend of practical advice, proven frameworks, and real-world examples that address every stage of the interview process. Whether you are solving complex coding challenges, designing scalable generative AI systems, or answering behavioral questions, this guide will help you navigate interviews with confidence and clarity. By the end, you will not only understand what interviews are looking for, but also how to showcase your technical expertise, problem-solving abilities, and creativity effectively. Let this be your trusted companion as you prepare to enter the world of generative AI, a field where innovation meets opportunity. Why generative AI is the future of tech interviews. Generative AI is redefining how machines interact with data and how humans interact with technology. From creating lifelike images and composing music to generating realistic conversations, generative AI pushes the boundaries of what artificial intelligence can achieve. As companies integrate these capabilities into products and workflows, the demand for skilled professionals who can design, implement, and optimize generative AI systems has never been higher. What makes generative AI roles unique is their requirement for a diverse skill set.
Interviewers seek candidates who not only understand core AI and machine learning concepts, but can also innovate, adapt to ambiguity, and work at the intersection of creativity and technical excellence. Interviews for these roles have evolved to include system design questions, advanced coding problems, and behavioral evaluations that test both technical and soft skills. Generative AI is not a fleeting trend. Demonstrate critical thinking and demonstrate critical thinking.
Oh shit, we're on chapter 2. All right, cool. Yo, 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 yo. Yo. All right. Let's turn this off. Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4. Yo, it's that easy. I cannot believe it's that easy. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and do a second. And we'll go ahead and chapter 2 that. Mute these. All right. All right. I know. I'll turn off the duplicated channel. I know. Rookie hour. I get it. Let's go ahead and turn. I'm going to turn off logic, actually. And then copy the setting. And then I'm gonna go ahead and paste channel strip setting. Okay. All right. Yo, why is this so loud, dude? Why is this so loud? Who turned up the gain? Who turned up this damn gain? Turn that down to like 0. Turn this down to like 0. There you go. Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Check, check. 1, 2. Okay. How about turn that up to like 3 and turn this up to like 5. There you go. 5. 1, 2, 2. Check, 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 check. How about 1? Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Aw, yeah. Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4. Okay. Just to reiterate, how does this sound? Okay. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Foundations. Chapter 2. Foundations of Generative AI.
Generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that enables machines to create content such as text, images, music, and even videos. Unlike traditional models that classify or predict based on inputs, unlike Generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that enables machines to create content such as text. Generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that enables machines to create content such as text, images, music, and even videos. Unlike traditional models that classify or predict based on inputs, generative AI models learn the underlying distribution of data and use that knowledge to generate new, similar outputs. To excel in generative AI interviews, you must have a firm understanding of the fundamental concepts. Architectures, and workflows that power these systems. This chapter provides a comprehensive foundation breaking down essential terminologies, models, data pipelines, and evaluation techniques that are central to generative AI. Key concepts and terminologies. Generative models. At the core of generative AI are generative models. These models are designed to learn practices. These models are designed to learn patterns from training data and use them to generate realistic outputs that mimic the training distribution. Unlike discriminative models, which focus on classifying or predicting outputs, generative models aim to construct new data points. For instance, a generative text model that might produce coherent sentences. Based on patterns it has learned from large text corpora. Similarly, image generating models can create photorealistic images of objects, landscapes, or even people. Key examples include ChatGPT for text generation, GANs for image synthesis, and diffusion models for refining noisy inputs. transformers, diffusion models, and GANs. Transformers have revolutionized the field of generative AI. Particularly for natural language processing, NLP. Transformers rely on self-attention mechanisms to capture relationships between words in a sentence, regardless of their position. Models like GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and BERT, Bidirectional encoder representations from transformers are built on this architecture, allowing them to excel at text generation, classification, and question answering tasks. Diffusion models, a relatively new advancement in generative AI. Diffusion models, a relatively new advancement in generative AI, use an iterative process to refine noise into meaningful data. These models have proven particularly powerful for image generation, producing highly detailed outputs with remarkable realism. Examples include Stable Diffusion, which is widely used for creative applications. GANs, Generative Adversarial Networks, consist of two neural networks, a generator and a discriminator, that compete against each other. The generator creates new data while the discriminator evaluates whether the data is real or generated. This adversarial training pushes the generator to produce increasingly realistic outputs, making GANs ideal for tasks like image synthesis, video generation, and style transfer. Tokens embedding. Tokens, embeddings, and latent spaces. Tokens are the fundamental units of input data for many generative models, particularly in NLP. Text data is broken into tokens, words, subwords, or characters. Text data is broken into tokens, words, subwords, or characters that can be processed by the model. Tokenization strategies such as byte pair encoding, BPE, or word piece play a crucial role in balancing vocabulary size and model efficiency. Embeddings Embeddings represent input tokens as dense vectors in a highly dimensional space. These representations capture semantic relationships between tokens. These representations capture semantic relationships between tokens, allowing models to understand context and meaning. For example, words like dog and puppy may have similar embeddings because they are conceptually related. Latent spaces are abstract. Compressed representations of input data. Latent spaces are abstract, compressed representations of input data that are used in generative models. In latent space, data points are mapped in such a way. In latent space, data points are mapped in such a way that similar points are closer together. This property allows generative models to manipulate and interpolate. This property allows generative models to manipulate and interpolate data effectively. For example, in a latent space for images, transitioning from one point to another might morph a cat into a dog. For example, in a latent space for images, transitioning from one space to another might morph a cat into a dog. Transitioning from one point to another might morph a cat into a dog. Understanding model architectures. GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. GPT models are based on the transformer architecture and have become synonymous with generative text applications. GPT leverages self-attention mechanisms to understand context in text sequences by understanding on massive datasets. By training on massive datasets, it learns to predict the next token in a sequence, enabling it to generate coherent and contextually relevant text. The pre-training and fine-tuning paradigm is a defining feature on GPT models. During pre-training, the model learns language patterns from unlabeled text data. In the fine-tuning phase, it is adapted to specific tasks such as text completion, summarization, or chatbot development. Stable diffusion. Stable diffusion is a class of diffusion models that iteratively Stable diffusion is a class of diffusion models that iteratively transform random noise into meaningful outputs. These models work by training on noisy versions of data. These models work by training on noisy versions of data and learning to reverse the noise step by step. These models work by training on noisy versions of data. These models work by training on by training on noisy versions of data and learning to reverse the noise step by step. Stable Diffusion is particularly effective for image synthesis and has gained popularity for generating artwork, creating visuals, and photorealistic images. BERT and T5. BERT, BERT, bidirectional encoder, bidirectional encoder representations from transformers. Bidirectional encoder representations from transformers is designed to understand the context of text bidirectionally. Is designed to understand the context of text bidirectionally. Unlike GPT, which processes text in one direction, BERT considers both preceding and succeeding. BERT considers both preceding and succeeding tokens to improve its understanding of meaning. It is primarily used for tasks like classification, sentiment analysis, and question answering. T5, text to text transfer, transformer, takes a unified approach to NLP tasks. By treating all problems as text-to-text transformations. Whether the task involves summarization, translation, or classification, T5 converts inputs and outputs into text, simplifying the model's architecture. Variational autoencoders, VAE. Variational autoencoders, VAEs. VAEs are generative models that learn to encode input data into latent space and decode it back into original or new outputs. The encoder maps data into a compressed latent representation, while the decoder reconstructs it. VAEs are widely used for image generation, where they can interpolate between data points and latent space to generate new visuals. Data pipeline for generative AI systems. The success of any generative AI models depends on the quality and efficiency of its data pipeline. Building a robust pipeline involves several stages, from data collection to model evaluation. Data collection, pre-processing, and augmentation. Data collection is the first step and involves gathering diverse, high-quality data sets tailored to the application. For example, task data sets for language models might include web content, books, and articles, while image data sets might include photographs, artwork, or synthetic data. Pre-processing prepares raw data for model training. Pre-processing prepares raw data for model training. Text pre-processing includes tokenization, cleaning, and normalization, while image processing may involve resizing, cropping, and denoising. Data augmentation introduces variations to the dataset, such as flipping, rotating, or adding noise to images to improve generalization. Training, validation, and testing. During training, the model learns to minimize a loss function by adjusting its parameters. Validation is performed on a separate dataset to tune hyperparameters and evaluate performance, ensuring the model generalizes well. Finally, testing measures the model's accuracy, coherence, and performance on unseen data. Evaluation metrics for generative AI. Evaluating generative models is a nuanced process that involves both quantitative and qualitative measures. Blue, Rouge, FID, and Perplexity. Blue, BLEU, Bilingual Evaluation Understudy, measures the quality of machine-generated text by comparing it to reference text, focusing on precision. It is commonly used in machine translation tasks. Rouge, ROU, rogue. Blue, Rogue, FID, and Perplexity. Rogue, recall-oriented understudy for gisting evaluation. Focuses on recall and is used to evaluate text summation by comparing n-grams, word overlaps, and sentence-level matches. FID, Frichet Inception Distance, assesses the quality of generated images by comparing the statistical distribution of features extracted from real and generated images. Lower FID scores indicate better visual Lower FID scores indicate better visual quality. Perplexity measures how well a probabilistic language model predicts a sample. Lower perplexity indicates that the model generates text with greater fluency and accuracy. Human versus automated evolution. While automated metrics provide consistency and objectivity, human evaluation remains essential for assessing subjective qualities like creativity, coherence, and realism. For example, evaluating the artistic quality of generated images or the emotional tone of text often requires human judgment. Combining automated metrics with human evaluation ensures a comprehensive assessment of generative AI models. Balancing measurable performance with qualitative insights. All right, okay. Let's save generative AI. Let's go ahead and copy and go to chapter 3 up here. Nice. Okay. Well, that's cool. We did that in like 30 minutes. That's pretty nice. We're making quick work of it. Guys. All right. How many more chapters though? That's the question. We're 25 pages in, 83 pages. Let's see. 23 out of 25 out of 83. 30% of the way there. We're 1/3 of the way there. 30 minutes divided by 0.3 would bring it to 100 minutes divided by 60 is 1.6 hours. Yeah, that makes sense. We could probably finish this today, to be honest. Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chapters 11. Appendices. About the author. Retail audio sample. Yeah, you know what? We could definitely finish this by the end of the week. That's 100%. All right. Hello, Martins. Thank you very much for reaching out about the situation, about the promotional tools. Let's see.
Okay. 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 Yep. I can't help but miss deadlines. I can't help it. Every single deadline is just like consistently missed. What's the deal, guys? What's the deal? I think where are we at with these projects actually? Let me look. Um, let's go to my projects. Let's go to in production. Because I mean, I don't think that we have terribly too much to do on here. Obviously, this looks like a lot, but we're a good amount in most of these. The biggest things that are gonna push me back are the biohacking guide because that's already due Jan 23. That's gonna 1.8 hours is gonna set us back just a little bit. The red light therapy, I promised that at the end of February, so we don't have to super pay attention to that one just yet. Most of these nuclear energy series are going to be, they've been okay with my production schedule so far, and so I'll put them out as I can make them, but medical law is going to be one of my biggest ones, with that being 5 hours. And I think we're about 2 chapters in right now to this production. I just really need to outsource this one. I need to outsource that one. My only concern with that is, I'm giving you guys a lot of data here, but thank you guys so much, by the way, for buying these books so far. This is way more than I had assumed that people would buy. So I'm just really happy. And as you can see, it's mostly the book that I did not do the best on. I'm going to be totally honest. So sorry, Oliver. I did not do the best on this book. This is one of my very first books, and I did not do a very good job on that one. So I don't like the fact that most of my purchases are the book that I didn't do the best on. I really don't like that at all. And then I didn't really do much better on this other How to Play Blackjack Like a Pro. So 13, 19, I mean, unfortunately, that's most of the sales. And it's the books that I don't have a lot of. I don't really like how that came out. I do love Between the Market and the Nation. That one came out really well, but only 2 people bought that one. Thank you guys so much for buying that, by the way. You guys are awesome for that, but it's 2 as opposed to, you know. And some of these might be a function of, like, when they came out. Like, obviously, they have a couple months on these, but, yeah, it's just, no one has bought this one yet. 2 people have bought that one. So it looks like the ones I'm mostly proud of were not really bought. So I'm really looking forward to what am I looking forward to? I just want to create something that's like really, really good that people love to listen to. And so just that mix of these 2 things going on. And my fear is that the ones that I'm just like gonna pump out, like this one right here, the medical law and technological advances, this is kind of from the same people that did the Between the Market and the Nation. And I have a feeling that some people are going to buy it, but my fear is that if I offload these 5 hours, it's usually come to about like $300 an hour or whatever. And so if we multiply that by 5, that's going to be about like $1,500. And I think the guy reached back out to me and was like, that sounds like a lot, so maybe like 1,000 or whatever. But like, to be honest, I really just can't justify it. I really can't justify it given this ROI on here. Like, if we go all the way back and we go to Between the Market and the Nation, this was like a comparable book. Whereas 2.5 hours, I mean, we got two sales, and two sales is about like, I don't know, $5, So like the ROI on that is insanely awful. I can definitely run at a negative, but like not that negative. That's I would mainly be wasting that money. So I don't know if I could do that. I just don't know if I could do that. So that's basically that's my life right now. And yeah. I think it'll be a lot better once I have like a stabilized. I'm not moving. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm moving to a new home, and it's just gonna be. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. Yeah. I don't know. 30% of the way. I'm thinking maybe with this I go. Well, chapter 4 is right there. I could probably do that pretty easy. All right. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to chapter 5, but I gotta find some sort of stopping point. That's the unfortunate part of this. I barely have any time. I never have fucking time. All right. Chapter 3. Building blocks of Gen AI system design. System design interviews are a critical component of the hiring process for generative AI roles. These interviews test your ability to architect robust, scalable, and efficient systems that solve real-world problems. Unlike coding challenges or theoretical questions, system design interviews focus on your high-level thinking, decision-making, and ability to balance trade-offs. This chapter explores the essential building blocks of your generative AI system design, providing a framework to approach these interviews with confidence. Deconstructing system design interviews. Deconstructing system design interviews. A system design interview evaluates your ability to create end-to-end
end-to-end architectures for complex problems. A system design interview evaluates your ability to create end-to-end architectures for complex problems. In the context of generative AI, this might involve designing a system for text. This might involve designing a system for text-to-image generation, real-time chatbot interaction, or personalized content recommendations. The goal is not only to assess your technical knowledge. The goal is not only to assess your technical knowledge. The goal is not only to assess your technical knowledge, but also to understand your approach to problem solving, collaboration, and strategic thinking. Interviewers typically present you with an open-ended problem, such as design a generative AI platform for creating custom artwork. Design a generative AI platform for creating custom artwork. They expect you to break the problem into smaller components, identify key requirements and constraints, and propose a scalable solution that addresses both technical and business objectives. Interviewer goals in system design scenarios. System design interviews are designed to evaluate multiple dimensions of your expertise, including technical depth, your understanding of generative AI components such as model training, inference systems, and deployment strategies. Problem-solving skills. Your ability to break down complex problems, prioritize tasks, and address challenges methodically. Trade-off analysis. Your capacity to balance competing factors such as accuracy, latency, and resource constraints. Communication. Your ability to articulate your thought process clearly and collaborate. Your ability to articulate your thought process clearly and collaborate effectively with others. Core components of a generative AI system. Generative AI systems are composed of several interconnected components, each playing a vital role in the overall workflow. Understanding these components is crucial for proposing effective system designs. Model training. Model training. Model training is the foundation of any generative AI system. During this phase, the model learns patterns from training data and optimizes its parameters to minimize a predefined loss function. Key considerations for model training include data quality and diversity, ensuring that the training dataset is representative of the target domain to prevent bias and improve generalization. Resource optimization, leveraging distributed computing, GPUs or TPUs, to accelerate training without exceeding budget constraints. Hyperparameter tuning, experimenting with large rates, batch sizes, and other parameters to achieve optimal performance. Effective model training lays the groundwork for robust and reliable generative AI systems. Inference systems. Inference systems refers to the process of generating outputs using a trained model. Inference systems must be designed to deliver high-quality results efficiently, particularly in real-time applications like chatbots or recommendation engines. Key aspects of inference. Include latency optimization, minimizing the time required to generate outputs, especially for applications with strict time constraints. Scalability, ensuring that the system can handle a high volume of requests without compromising performance. Robustness, handling edge cases and unexpected inputs gracefully to maintain reliability. Model deployment and scalability. Deployment involves integrating the trained model into production environment. Where it can serve users. This phase requires careful consideration of infrastructure, scalability, and monitoring. Best practices for deployment include containerization, using tools like Docker, to encapsulate the model, and it using tools like Docker to encapsulate the model, and its dependencies for consistent deployment across environments. Scaling strategies. Implementing auto-scaling mechanisms to handle fluctuations in user demand. Implementing auto-scaling mechanisms to handle fluctuations in user demand. Monitoring and logging. Tracking system performance, in identifying bottlenecks, and addressing issues proactively. User interaction and feedback loops. User interaction and feedback loops. User interaction is a critical aspect of many generative AI systems. User interaction is a critical aspect of many generative AI systems, particularly those designed for personal experiences. Feedback loops enable the system to learn from the user behavior and improve over time. Key considerations include feedback collection, designing intuitive interfaces that allow users to provide feedback on system outputs, continuous learning, incorporating feedback into the model to refine its performance and adapt to evolving user needs. Ethical considerations, ensuring transparency, fairness, and privacy in how user data is collected and utilized. Trade-offs in designing Gen AI systems. Designing generative AI systems involves navigating a series of trade-offs to balance competing priorities. Understanding these trade-offs is essential for making informed decisions during system design interviews. Model size versus latency. Larger models typically produce higher quality outputs, but require more computational resources, leading to increased latency. For example, a large transformer model may excel at generating coherent text, but may struggle to deliver results quickly in real-time applications. In such cases, you might consider compressing the model, using techniques like quantization or knowledge distillation to strike a balance between quality and efficiency. Accuracy versus efficiency. High accuracy often comes at the High accuracy often comes at the cost of greater resource consumption. For instance, fine-tuning a generative model on domain-specific data can improve accuracy, but may require significant computational resources. During interviews, you should demonstrate your ability to evaluate whether incremental gains in accuracy justify the additional cost and complexity. Interpretability. Interpretability versus complexity. Interpretable models are easier to debug, explain, and trust, but may lack the sophistication of more complex architectures. In applications where transparency is critical, such as healthcare or finance, you may prioritize interpretability over raw performance. Conversely, for creative applications like artwork generation, complexity and output quality may take precedence. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. Add chapter 4. Okay. Chapter 4. We're 30 out of 83 pages. 30 out of 83 makes us 36% of the way there. That's pretty good. How long is chapter 4? Yeah, not terribly too long. And once we get there, we're about 35 of 83. And after, I think chapter 6 marks halfway point. Gotta be 42 out of 83, basically, yeah. Pretty much exactly. So, these next two chapters, and then we're halfway. I think that's basically where we're at. So, let's see. This might be me pausing, or this might be me getting off for the night. I'm not really sure which one it is at the current moment, but for right now, definitely going to take a break at the very latest, or at the very least. We're about 2 hours into the recording, which means I'm really glad that we did 2 hours of work. Very, very, very glad that we got 2 hours of work. My humble opinion is that we probably could have finished this book today, but it was extraordinarily challenging to get me in this spot. So if you can just increase your ability to get to the spot where you record and make that spot probably like a permanent spot that is permanently set up, that permanently affixes the things that you need, so you're not like setting things up the entire time. If you can just get to that point where it's constantly up and you don't need to keep setting it up, you will increase the frequency with which you record. The more you record, the more instances you record in, and then the obviously you're going to record for long times when you're recording in those instances, the greater success you can find. Just keep doing that. Just keep doing it over and over and over and over again, and do it for longer periods of time. You will find you are building the
the competencies as you record. You are building your abilities as you perform. Keep it going, and you'll find it. And I'm saying this as somebody with, as you can see. So thank you so much for popping in. I really appreciate you. It's GG. Thank you, GG. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for the one. You were awesome. Thank you for keeping me company while I do this. I am at the very bare minimum going to log off for the time being, but I might be back on here in a second. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next one. And hopefully we're going to make that either tonight in a couple minutes, or it'll be early tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for coming in.